Hey everyone, quick video today. I am still in the middle of setting up my new townhome that I just moved into, so apologies for the slightly lax setup, though I don't know, I might make something out of this particular set since it's where my computer is, or at least where I think I'll be leaving it. Anyways, this video is about one of my most major holdings, and that is Turtle Beach, which makes up about 5 or 6% of my net worth at the moment, and potentially more in the near future. I've been looking to potentially add to this company. They are a gaming accessories, headphones, microphones, that kind of company that sells gaming accessories. Currently, most of their revenue comes from the console industry with console headsets, but they've been trying to diversify since they're throwing off a lot of great cash flow, and they're using that to buy other brands in sort of tangentially related areas of the gaming industry, mainly into the PC space. So they want to get into computers rather than just solely relying on consoles, which are comparatively much more cyclical, even though they have been very lucrative for Turtle Beach over its storied history. But anyways, here's the news. The Donerail Group, at least I think I'm saying that right, Donerail. The Donerail Group announces that its recently increased $36.50 all-cash offer has been rejected by the Turtle Beach board. And this is $36.50 per share compared to the current price of about $27 per share. However, when this offer was made, it was a bit lower, I believe, at least. We're not sure exactly the date it was made. I forget if it says in this letter. But anyways, apparently Donerail Group has been trying to buy Turtle Beach, and the board does not want to sell, even at this massive premium compared to the actual share price right now, at least depending on how you value the company, of course. But that's more than 42% above the current share price, or the current market cap of Turtle Beach. So significant premium compared to the current price that they're offering to pay outright in cash, just buy the company outright. They're already a pretty large shareholder. Apparently they own around 4% of the company. So they like Turtle Beach clearly. And if we actually put that in market cap terms, what is that? 5% of 450 million is 22.5 million. So that's how big Donerail's stake is approximately in Turtle Beach, a pretty significant portion of the market cap, which is, actually, let me check the market cap. I pulled it up earlier, of about 435 million, so a little bit lower than that, but that's the current market cap of Turtle Beach. They're trying to buy the rest of the company. The board doesn't want it. But why is that? So anyways, Donerail Group put out this letter just to complain, basically, that they're deeply concerned that Turtle Beach's rejections to date demonstrate an entrenched board's unwillingness to fully and faithfully evaluate value-maximizing outcomes for its shareholders. So they're trying to get a little feisty here since they've actually been rejected a couple times. I'll go ahead and show you an older letter that they released about a month ago, because they've been trying to do this for quite some time, apparently. They really want to buy this company, but the board isn't even listening, apparently, because they don't even like this $36.50 share offer, which is pretty amazing, I must say, that they have the gumption to say, nope, we believe that we can get this company worth much more than this, even though if we go ahead and look at Dataroma, which shows you insider buying and selling on particular companies, I'll zoom in a little bit. So this is all of the insider selling and buying in Turtle Beach over the last year. And we can see that Jurgen Stark, or I think it's Jurgen, I forget how you actually say it, the proper way to say it. Anyways, he has actually been selling shares in the last year. He hasn't sold since February. He was selling a bit then. It's hard to say why he was selling, but this was when the share price was up near $34, so much higher than it is now, though not too far off, seeing as though this was only back in February. And he was selling a bit there. I don't know if he thought it was overvalued or if he just needed the money. It's typically hard to tell when insiders sell. It's not necessarily indicative that they don't like the stock. It could be that they have a personal situation arise and they need the money, tax consequences, all sorts of things. You never really know exactly, though it would be a negative sign for sure. It definitely wouldn't be a positive sign. However, when an insider buys, that typically would signal a much more aggressive, positive step towards saying that this stock is undervalued. If the insiders believe that it's worth buying at current prices, then that could be much more indicative of it being a good deal. Of course, not financial advice by any means, but it's a good start if you're going to be doing research on what insiders are doing. But anyways, they've been selling in the last year. They've not been buying. And if they really think their stock is this undervalued, why not buy more? They're currently not willing to sell at a 40% premium. Sure, maybe it would trigger tax consequences. There are other things that go into this other than just a transfer of money. There are complications with this sort of deal, but still, they don't think it's worth buying more, but they certainly see it worth holding. And even if they were to get all this cash in the next few months, if they went through with this all-cash offer, this all-cash deal, they're deciding not to do that. So interesting note I thought I'd bring up. Anyways, who is the Donerail Group? I looked them up. They're an unyielding, value-driven investment firm. So they're value investors, at least they say, and they're trying to create value through special situation investments. I couldn't really find much else on their website, since I guess they might be pretty new. Since if we go to releases, here's all the news they have. We have some sort of merger from 2020, something in June 2020, and then this last letter, which was a month ago, about Turtle Beach when they first were trying to acquire the company, apparently. They released this letter as, again, a sort of complaint that, hey, why isn't the board listening to us? And I'll actually go to that letter right now. That was this one. Back in July 19th, the Donerail Group releases a letter, and they released this letter here. This is what they sent, apparently, to the board of directors of Turtle Beach at the time. This was back in July... I guess it was July 19th. So this is when that letter was from. Because apparently back in, I think, April it was, they first were soliciting the board that, hey, we want to make an offer, we want to buy this company or something like that. And apparently the board has not liked that. Yeah, as you can see, over the last 5 months, we've appreciated the more than a dozen meetings that we've had with you, your management team, your representatives, and members of the board since they're trying to buy the company. So this was 5 months prior to July, which would mean about February. So that's actually really interesting. I just realized that. That's right around the time that Stark, the CEO, was selling. I wonder if there was maybe some sort of coincidence there, or if this was actually part of a broader scheme and that maybe Stark was looking to sell and he was approached by this, maybe thought, okay, if people are trying to buy the company at the prices it's at already, maybe I could sell a little bit out now, take some risk off the table. I don't know. I don't know what exactly he was thinking, but just adding fuel to the fire, I suppose. I don't know what the reasons were for selling, but point is, they were trying to buy this company for a while. They still are, it seems like. And if we go back to what they were saying in this letter, yeah, here we go. With that being said, recent engagement with the board and its representatives has left us with a heightened level of concern regarding the company's strategy for creating value, and as a top shareholder, we feel compelled to raise our concerns with our shareholders and share this letter publicly, since apparently they wanted to buy the company. They didn't like the direction it was going in exactly, and they thought they could produce more value in a sort of activist sort of way. I guess you might call this Donerail firm, it's more akin to like a Bill Ackman strategy where it's value-driven, but it's kind of an activist strategy. It's value-driven in that you try to get the company at a great price relative to its assets or to its cash flows or whatever, but then you try to expand those cash flows even further by active management rather than just let the company keep doing what it's been doing. So not really sure what exactly they'd be going for, but this letter, I just kind of skimmed through the rest of it. They were just kind of complaining about how we've worked in good faith to provide comprehensive details regarding the prospective financing package for our proposal as you requested, and then everything fell apart, and they were upset that it fell apart and that the board isn't really entertaining their offers very much at all. And it culminated a month later in this one where they made a revised offer to the $36.50 per share, and the board didn't listen to that either. They don't want to hear it. Interesting to see that Turtle Beach is this bullish on themselves. As a shareholder myself, I think it's great, not only because there's a firm out there that's willing to pay $36.50 per share as is right now for Turtle Beach. That's great. You know, you have that buyer out there, at least allegedly. They're saying they're out there. But it also shows that the inside ownership, the management and the board of Turtle Beach is behind their growth. They are really going into their growth strategy. They're trying to grow their cash flows, their market cap in a positive way beyond that 40%. They're looking towards the long term, not just the short-term profits, which as a long-term holder myself, at least that's the goal. I want to hold this company for a long time, ideally for many years, and not really have to worry about it. That is a good thing. If the board thinks that it's worth holding rather than selling now and taking those profits in the short term, triggering a tax sale or whatever it is, they'd rather hold it and try to grow it much, much bigger, even bigger than the 40% premium or so that Donerail is offering. Well, let's take a quick look at the numbers on Turtle Beach. They recently had their earnings report, and it's been more of the same. If we go down to their income statement, revenues compared to last year in June were about the same, which is good because 2020 was a very big year for them, revenue and cash flow wise. Now, do note that typically in the fall to winter months in the US, Turtle Beach has much bigger sales because really that's when a lot of retail sort of oriented brands have a lot of their sales. We had a lot of console sales, especially this time around with the release of the PS4, for example, Xbox console sales. Everything was up there since we had the new releases. And that definitely helped Turtle Beach in a big way. And they've been trying to spin that cash into new operations, into new businesses that they buy to actually try and expand the cash flows even further rather than solely rely on console sales as the biggest portion of their revenues. But anyways, they've seemed to be keeping with that trend on last year. They're matching a lot of their numbers in a good way. But it seems like the difference is they don't have the big drop-off that they had in March of last year where revenues across the board for pretty much every company dramatically dropped. Instead, March of this year, they had a much better Q1 versus Q1 of last year, which is good. And if you look at their Q2 numbers, they look about the same as Q2 of last year, which is a good thing because, again, that was a very big year. And if they're able to at least maintain these cash flows, that's a great thing because they are very good. And it seems like you can get Turtle Beach at a pretty decent price. Go over to the ratios. We can see that their gross profit margin is still at a hefty 36.5%, which, considering what it is, they're selling gaming accessories of all shapes and sizes. It's good that they're keeping their margins up and they're not succumbing to competition, at least yet, though you would probably expect some margin compression over time, unless they can really keep diversifying in a good way, not de-worsifying, but finding new profitable ventures to keep this margin high. We'll see what happens over the long run, but the fact of the matter is they have a lot of room for profit. They have no debt, or pretty much no debt, on their balance sheet. They have a decent amount of cash relative to their size, and they're bringing in more cash every single quarter, which is fantastic. So they're in a good position. The question is what you value the company at. Donerail values it at least $36 a share, $36.50 a share, but Turtle Beach themselves value it much higher. So beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Of course, Turtle Beach might be a bit biased, but then again, they have the keys to the car. They're the ones steering the ship. So they might have a very clear idea of where they're trying to go with actually building this company up in a very big way, much more than what Donerail was offering. Anyways, I thought I would at least expose the news here if you didn't see it already, since, again, Turtle Beach is one of my major holdings in my stock portfolio, one of my largest for sure. I always do a breakdown on my stock portfolio in my M1 Finance account every single month on the 15th. I just had an episode that actually mentioned Turtle Beach on my watch list. So if you want to check that video out, go do that. And that's in my M1 Finance series, and I'll try to remember to link it below in the description. That's my current watch list that I'm looking to do more research in. Now that I finally closed on this place that I am broadcasting from, and will continue to decorate and move all of my stuff and unpack it, because that is the hardest part about moving. It's not even packing, it is unpacking to actually finish the move. That's what takes forever. So got to finish that first. Gonna try to set up some new sets as well. Hopefully those will look good, and I'll try to make sure that they do look good so that the channel can be that much more aesthetically pleasing. Anyways, if you guys got value out of this video, value investing, I really hope you get value out of it. If you guys got value out of it, definitely leave a like below. And even if you didn't get value out of it, definitely let me know why in the comments below. What do you guys think about the situation? If you did get value, or if you didn't, I definitely want to get your thoughts on Turtle Beach. If you're an investor in the company, if you're thinking about investing, what are your thoughts on this recent news? Is it good? Is it bad? Do you think that Turtle Beach's board should have gone through with this deal? You want the money now? You don't really care about betting on growth for the future? Just take the quote-unquote risk-free profit right now? Definitely let me know in the comments below. And if you like this sort of content about stock investing and personal finance, then definitely be sure to subscribe, since I put up new videos every single week and wouldn't want you guys to miss out. But until next time, take care.